Hi, and welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to look at a feature that is rather overlooked. Appointment templates make it easy to extend the appointment entity and store additional information for planned appointments on the planning board. Let me show you how it works. With appointment templates, you can add extra tabs and fields to the appointment editor in addition to the standard fields that come out of the box in Dime.Scheduler. When I double click on a random appointment on the planning board, we can see the appointment card and all the information of this particular appointment. That includes the start date, the end date, the subject and the body, to which task and job this appointment belongs to, etc. We can also see the status of our visual indicators, categories, and the time markers. And when we go to the second tab of this appointment card, we can see which resources have been assigned to this appointment. The third tab is the result of setup in the appointment templates page. This tab does not come out of the box in Dime.Scheduler. It is rather the result of setup that you can do yourself. It's up to you to decide which tabs you want to add to the appointment card, which fields that should contain, what their types are, and also how they should be processed in the back office system. The only thing that we're going to do out of the box is display and save the values and send them over to any of the connected systems that want to be notified of the new planning information. What I've done here in my demo environment is add an extra tab that captures additional equipment that people should be bringing along to the customer site. And when we update a field and set some data, we'll see in a second that, as usual, that whenever we do something on the planning board, we are going to notify the underlying back office systems. In this case, that will be Business Central, and we'll send along this new information back to BC. So if I hit F5, hit this item, when we scroll down a little bit to the field values, we can see the new field values have been captured and are available in Business Central. And whatever you want to do with that information, that is up to you. Now let's go back to Dime.Scheduler and set up a new template with some brand new tabs and fields so you can see how it's done. So let's go back to Dime.Scheduler, hit escape, and then we can go to the sidebar menu, and under this item, we'll find an item called Appointment Templates. And at first, you might find the screen to be a little bit overwhelming, but it's really quite simple. We have a list of our templates, where a template contains one or more sections, where one section may contain one or more fields. And a field that has the type select could contain a list of field options. The two columns grayed out here, these are our assignment columns. So when we select a template field, we'll have the related sections, which are the ones we see in this list. And when we select a section, we can see the fields that have been assigned to this particular section. That's how we can compose multiple combinations of templates, sections, fields, and field options, which makes it, again, like everything else in Dime.Scheduler, very flexible. So let's go ahead then and create a couple of new fields, sections, and finally a template. We are going to take a bottom-up approach. We're going to start by creating some new fields first. And let's say we want to manage some kind of checklist that the planner can use to follow up on the work of his technicians. So let's add a couple of fields to follow up on the work, like whether the inspection has been done. Let's mark this as Boolean. Whether the item has been repaired. And whether the customer has signed off on the work. Great. The fields have been created. Let's group them into one tab, which we call a section in our setup here. Make sure, like everything else, the code is unique. So let's give this the name checklist. And once the item has been created, we can then now assign fields to a section. So let's add these 3 new fields to our new section. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. And if need be, you can change the order so they appear in the most logical sense. It's about the same story when it comes to a template. A template can contain 1 or more sections, which will be displayed as tabs in the editor. So let's add a tab. Let's give this the name checklist again. And let's mark this as the default. If you don't specify a template for a task or appointment, we'll fall back to this appointment template. And once a template has been created, we can then now again assign and add sections to this new template. So let's add both tabs to the template. There's 1, and there's 2. And again, if need be, you can change the order of the sections in this template. And that's all there is to it, basically. Now we can already see it in action when we go back to the planning board. So when we go back to the planning board and open a random appointment, we'll see our new tabs will be available in the editor. The equipment tab has the same fields as before, but now we also have our checklist tab with our new fields here. And as always, as soon as you do any kind of modification to the appointment, we're going to reach out to the connected back office systems and write back our entire appointment graph, including the appointment templates that we have here. So when I hit save, we'll synchronize with Business Central and we'll see the new appointment information will be available here as well. So hit F5 and we'll see the appointment field values have been written back to Business Central. And then it's up to you to decide how you want to process this information. Now, before I wrap up, I just wanted to show you the select field type. So let's go back to Dime.Scheduler, to the appointment template setup, and let's quickly create a new field, perhaps to get feedback from the customer. So let's give that a name. And this time we'll select the type to be of select. And whenever you hit the select option, this list at the bottom will be enabled. And then you can add options to this select list, basically. So let's add some options to this list. Something like that. And let's add this feedback field to the checklist section. So let's do it like that. And then it's been added. We can go back to the planning board, select a random appointment, doesn't really matter. When we go to the checklist tab, we can now see the feedback option has this list as the possible options. And then whenever you hit save, it will go back to Business Central and be processed as usual. So this is what appointment templates is all about. Simple setup, powerful results, and synchronization with Business Central. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.